Today I'm going to talk to you about something, and it's both the most hated and talked about thing in all of music, and that's the use of AI to produce music. And I want to give my perspective on it, and some people are going to find it controversial, some people aren't going to like it, and great, whatever. But just hear me out. So, I've talked to you before about the fact that I have a issue, right? I build a lot of guitars. I love playing guitar. I love playing bass. I can't. Not in the way I once could, not in the way I should be able to. And it's because, I had an incident with a drunk driver years ago and I don't have as much feeling in my hand as I used to. I don't use that as an excuse, as a crutch, whatever. Matter of fact, I've done pretty well in music. I am a decent lyricist. And I have, been able to afford a lot of what's in this room because of that. And I'm grateful for that. But I've also written some things that have made other people money and, didn't always come across the way that I intended them. But hey, whatever. The fact is, when you have someone like me, you kind of still are creative. You still want to find a way out, right? A way to create something that you love. And when you have your limitations, you still do it. Me, I will use keyboard. I'll use the guitar as much as I can, or the bass. I'll put down beats that I sample and I will beat match. I've DJ'd for a long time. I've done things like that. I write a lot of lyrics, like I mentioned. But overall, I still have those limitations, right? And then you have the other limitations of singers, musicians, people that might not share your vision, people that might not be able to quite achieve what you want to achieve just like you can't. And for me, I've always compensated by using tools, right? Pro Tools particularly, Ableton, Monkey Beats, things like that. And I don't see a problem with that. Now, am I composing classical music? Am I writing great, amazing, killer thrash metal or incredible dark metal? No, not usually. And there's an important element there for creativity for people with real talent, right? And real ability. And I don't think that using tools to create something that's more of electronic music is the same thing. As a matter of fact, I don't have a problem with people creating entirely in AI. Yes, it all sounds the same. Yes, it is limited. But it also can inspire a kid that wants to write. It can inspire someone to explore other instruments. Now, do I have a major problem when it comes to people that just use AI to write their lyrics, drop them into Suno or Udio or one of those apps, and spit out 1,000 tracks and drop them onto DistroKid, and suddenly they've got a full catalog and they're making money and they're doing nothing and there's no creativity there? Sure, that's a problem. That's where creativity dies. But when it comes to AI, AI is supposed to be a force multiplier. It is supposed to be a means to allow someone to be more productive and more capable of creating something. It is not supposed to be a replacement, just like in any form of work, right? So when you take those elements together, for me, where I've used it recently is in finalizing tracks. I've got 30 years of tracks that I've mixed, or beats that I've got laying around, things like that I couldn't quite make match, or I couldn't find the right person to sing it, or something like that, or I needed to layer something that wasn't quite layering correctly in Ableton. Using the AI assistant can sometimes allow it to take a look at what you're doing, to give you suggestions, to do things like that. I don't see a problem with that. I've generated a couple tracks in AI just to play with it, to see what's up with it. Honestly, I'm not that impressed. I would rather use it as an assistant. Now, people are purists, right? And I remember, I've been around long enough that I remember when drum machines, that was a big thing, right? It was drum machines and modulation effect boxes. That's cheating. That's not really making music. I remember when sampling was a big deal. Oh, you're just stealing from someone. Well, it did great for a lot of people and made some great music out of things that were already great music. When Pro Tools came out, holy crap, everybody was hating on it. Now everybody uses it. AI is no different. It is a series of commands that have been structured to be automatically implemented. When used like that as a tool assistant, there's nothing wrong with it. And this is the same people that go and buy a KMFDM album that was recorded digitally, produced digitally, and put it on vinyl and say, man, it just sounds better that way. Okay, great. Maybe it does to you, but maybe your equipment's better, right? These are the same people who go, well, I've been performing for 30 years and, I've got 14 bands behind me, but they still work at Walmart. And there's no knocking that. That's great. The performance is important. But the future doesn't ask permission. The future is here. People are going to be using this. Some kid that has an idea for a song that creates some lyrics and puts it out and they don't know how to play, and they drop it in Suno and now they've got something they can enjoy and they can relate to. Great. There's definitely a gray area of the mass-produced, the crap. But hell, stuff's been mass-produced for years. How many artists that have gotten really big recently over like the last 15 years use 14 or 30 songwriters and 12 producers on a track, right? I mean, where's the differentiation there? Like, is that not an issue with talent? Is that not an issue with this? And then we judge someone because he used AI to fill in a vocal. Well, I'll tell you this. There's vocal ranges that I use in my own music that I don't know a single person that can hit. And the stuff that I write, because most of my stuff is just showcasing lyrical work, and the lyrics drive the music. It's not always metal. It's not always industrial. It's not always EBM. It's not always even like a rockabilly or whatever. There's stuff in my music that I couldn't get someone to produce. And if I could, how am I going to get it translated to them, right? And it's just like putting a track in Ableton. Now, will I produce an entire track in AI and release it? No, that's just pointless. You're just going to produce the same thing over and over again, no matter what your lyrics are, no matter how great you are, or what you think of yourself. But will I lay a bunch of stuff down? Will I have a beat laying around for the last 20 years that I've never done anything with? And then say, well, I want to retouch that, but I don't want to spend 4 hours working on these 4 notes? Yeah. Well, I have a vocal that I don't think I'm a great singer. I mean, whatever. But I'll put down a vocal. It doesn't sound right. Well, I'm not going to auto-tune it, but I can give it a cadence and I can create an entirely new vocal. Now, am I taking work away from somebody? Hell no, I'm not. I'm just producing for me. I don't give a shit if it makes money. I don't care if it buys another guitar. It's like the guitars in this room. Okay, I love them. I have put my hands on every single one of them. I have built every single one of them in some way, whether it's an upgrade or it's taking something that was torn up and destroyed and rebuilding it. And you know what? 90% of the time, they sit here. I love to play them. I love to show them to you. I love to show you how you can go, and no matter what your talent or your skill set is, and DIY builds you something that you would really enjoy and learn to play on. I love it when artists come over here, real musicians come over here, and they play my gear. Or they ask me to do something to theirs. Or they ask, can we use this for the next few weeks because we can't afford it or we need new gear or whatever. I am always about that. And I love when I get to donate these to kids that, when it's something that's not super expensive and somebody's trying to learn, they can't maybe afford it, their parents won't get them something. I love being able to donate stuff. And I kind of look at this new system of AI that way, right? Where's the problem? It's just like giving a kid a guitar and letting him learn his first power chord. Maybe he'll go and go somewhere else. My problems are strictly on people that produce just to produce for nothing else but make money. And we already have that in the music industry. So maybe it's unpopular opinion. Maybe you don't like me. Hell, maybe you don't watch my videos anymore. I don't really care. I appreciate you watching. But I do these because this is my opinion. These are my projects, my music. You know, sometimes I make money on it. Sometimes I don't. I do them because it's my outlet. I hope everybody finds an outlet like that. Anyway, just my 2 cents. Thanks for watching.